Get some lights over here. Yeah, just obviously the last 3 weeks, I think we've lost games to the number one 12 and 15th ranked teams in the country, and felt like we had a chance at two of those at home. And it's anytime you have a chance to beat a team that's highly regarded, and that you certainly you regret it, and you look at everything that, man, if we could have done this, if we could have done that. So all of those things, but I think it speaks volumes for how our kids are playing. And I tell you what, I know it speaks volumes for is our incredible fans at Jordan-Hare. I just continue to be amazed at their it's a great home environment, and I know that they've endured disappointing years, and certainly are in the growing pains with us right now also. But their energy and their support, I just can't say enough about that for them. And I think they sense what I sense, and that is that, we are Auburn, and we should take a back seat to no one in recruiting, and that's the approach we're taking. And while there are some certain bumps in the roads, and people make of those what they will, and that's you guys, that's us, that's fans, everybody makes of it what you will, but they're temporary, and the time is coming when people will sense what Auburn truly is, like our fans already do, and just thankful for them. So looking at the game, just the negative plays that our kids played extremely hard, proud of that. Thought our defense, outside of just a couple of explosive plays, which you're playing a team in the nation that's they've got to be one of the top teams in the nation for explosive plays. You're going to give some, but there were two that we really probably could have done better on, and didn't get quite communicated like we should have. One was on our coaching staff, and one was our players just didn't execute the call correctly. I wish we could have those two back. And then that first 3rd and 15 on the first drive, they scored a touchdown on the pass interference. I thought our kid was in a great position and did a great job on that. And outside of that, I thought our defense played really, really well offensively. Some of the negative plays that got us behind the chains were a combination of the same thing. And then, but really what haunts us is the lack of third down production. When our defense holds them to 2 of 14 or something, and I think we were 4 of 11 or something in that regard, we need desperately to convert those. And it was disappointing to see us not do that. But again, growing pains for sure, but proud of our kids, proud of our fans, and excited to be back in Jordan-Hare Saturday night.
Hey, Hugh, are you content at this point to continue that platoon at quarterback, just kind of going in and out?
Whatever I think or whatever our offensive staff convinces me is the best approach to give us a chance to win a game. I've said from day one that I think Robbie has a place, and it's his place every down. We'll see this week if it's a package that enables us to continue drives. I think we always have to look at those things right now with the current state of kind of who we are.
Hey, Hugh.
I'm not content though with anything right now offensively. So,
just for clarity's sake, on game days, are you doing any play calling, or is it all Monty, or is it?
It's Monty is calling the plays. I obviously have input, and so I don't. I'm never one to sit here and say to place blame on coaches. It's a combination. It's all of us that I listen to the plan and evaluate it. But it's hard. It's harder for me than I thought with the verbiage and stuff to be real involved in every area. I paid a lot of attention to tight red zone. We've been pretty good in the red zone at times, but we're not getting there enough to find out if our plans are really good or not. But so it's a combination. I'll jump in from time to time, as do the O-line coaches and others. And but Monty is the play caller currently.
7 games into the season, you've said you're not happy with what the offense is. At this point, like, how much do you think realistically can get better about the offense at this point?
I'm never. I'm always an optimist. I thought we were going to be pretty good last week, and I'm going to believe that about this week also, and going to do everything within my power as soon as I get through with this meeting to get started on that and to see how better we can get this week. Certainly, because it's obvious we can get better. We should be able to get better, and that will be the goal. And that's that my focus will be on that this week.
Hugh, have you had a stretch in your career with I guess over the course of 4 or 5 games like this where you've struggled this much offensively? And what is it about this group that gives you confidence you'll be able to pull out of it?
I think you can go look at my offensive stats everywhere I've been, and the answer is no, never. And so those are the challenging times that I think, they hit you right in the face, and you ask a lot of questions, and it certainly challenges you. But I do think that's where the most growth happens for people that handle it the right way. And we've played some good football teams, and some of it's us, some of it's them, but no, I haven't experienced a stretch quite like that.
Hey, Hugh, at times the offenses look like it's 2 different things with Robbie and Peyton.
It is. It's 2 totally different things.
Are you and Phillip splitting up, calling the plays during the game, depending on the package?
I did. I was very involved in that 13 personnel package last week. Very, very much so in it. I really thought we might could shorten the game with that. It didn't work quite like anticipated. We had some really good plays out of it at times. But, it's not always the play caller either. And anytime you set up here, the last thing I ever want to do is throw our kids under the bus because they're trying hard. And I'm not going to do that. But y'all been around the game long enough to know that sometimes you might have a really good call and it just didn't get executed right. And, but you'll take like play 1 of the game should have been like maybe a 50-yard run. Go watch the film. And, we're eager and excited and Robbie's so athletic and, so I'm not at all, I'm gonna teach him from it, but it's like we said, man, this is what's going to happen. Everybody thinks, it's going to be a zone read or it's going to be Well, the first play was a zone slap play where there ain't no read. You hand that sucker off, and the backer fit outside, and there's a crease right up the chute, and so I obviously didn't coach him well enough on kind of what was going on there. Then later on, we do the same thing and do the read, and he pulls it down to the 1 yard line. So there were some good things in there, but that first play, you go a -3 instead of whatever it would have been. It may not have been 50, but it was going to be a good run. We were fixing to be second short or 1st and 10 again, or touchdown. So it's a combination of things. But to answer your question, yes, I was very involved in the 13 personnel, the big package there. Thought we had a great coming out playing with that too. We threw the slip screen. We get called for pass interference on a defensive end that drops and holds our tight end, and and then they were in contact. So maybe that is pass interference, but so it just seems like every time we would have something positive going like that, not every time, but sometimes it was we get a bad break, or obviously we make a bad call, or we don't execute a call correctly.
Right here in the middle, Hugh. It's year one, and we knew you were taking over a new team, a new roster. 7 games in, you talked about in the beginning how you'd have to come in and implement your coaching style and teach a lot of new things. 7 games in, are you seeing those things work out? Are you seeing this team progress and get better in year one with the things that you and your coaching staff are implementing?
Yeah, the things I see behind the scene that you don't have the privilege of seeing, I think, is establishing the culture. And one of those is playing hard. I think we've done that, except for maybe one game up to the standard that we expect. Creating a standard of accountability in little things, because I really believe that long-term for Auburn to be where we want it to be, that the accountability of those little things you can't slide on those. And I think that's kind of maybe when I got here is something that they felt like they could. And I see that getting better each week. And I'm a firm believer that if you think that you can be 5 minutes late to a class or to a tutoring, or if the chow hall is optional, but it's really not optional, but it is to you, I'm a firm believer that that's the same things that can happen on a Saturday when you call cover 2 and I may not play cover 2 this time, but I see the growth in that. And I see the growth in our team room, and I see in recruiting what kids are sensing this place can be. And again, like I said at the beginning, this is Auburn, and it should take a back seat to no one. And so I do see the growth. Have I seen the results that you want on the field? Again, we've played a very difficult stretch of games and had a chance to win a couple of those against top teams in the nation. So that, in its own way, is encouraging. It's also discouraging that you had some things happen in those games that that we could do better or coach better.
Although having back here, Coach. Although having factors of 2 quarterbacks and different schematics that you could put on the field, what is the balance there of trying to build confidence and chemistry with one guy, but obviously there's a challenge there of using, I'm sure in practice, multiple.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing 2 different things, truthfully, and in the packages. Whether that's smart or not, I don't know. We got to figure that out. We obviously think it is, or have thought it is. But when they're doing 2 different things, I don't think that's an issue. I mean, they're really confident in what you do. Here's your package. Get really confident with that. It's not like we're asking one to go do the whole game plan right now because there's 2 distinctively different packages.
Coach, in the two SEC games where you lost to top teams by a single touchdown, Auburn has run the ball significantly more than they've passed it. How do you continue to lean into what you do well offensively, but build some confidence in the passing game when you need it at the end of these close games?
Yeah, I told the staff yesterday, we've got to be more balanced. Now, I firmly believe you play to your strengths, and I do think we have proved we can be somewhat successful running the football. But I do think you have to play balanced football. And so we've got to find the things that our players can do, receivers, quarterbacks, protections, and be more aggressive in calling those. And so I expect to see that change some. But I'm not sitting here at all saying to you that you won't see more runs than passes. I think we've got to, again, play to our strengths. Now, this team you're playing this week, I mean, they are really, really, really chaotic on defense, and it's really, really hard to consistently run the ball on them, and it's also really, really hard to protect. So we've got a lot of things facing us for sure.
I got a couple. First, what's the status of Wesley McGriff right now and into the future?
Yeah, he was just in my office working with me on the accountability team of making sure our kids are accountable. He's dealing with a personal issue, and I think he'll get through it just fine.
And secondly, you did mention recruiting. How was the turnout? How was the response from the recruits that were here over the weekend?
Turnout was incredible, and I think they see like people that really look at this objectively. I think they see that, man, Auburn is I don't know what our class rankings have been the last 5 years prior to our arrival or anything. I don't know what they've been, but I think they see, man, I could contribute to this, and the energy in the stadium, again, they feel that on Tiger Walk. They see that in the stands, and I thought every meeting I had prior to the game, after the game, then all day Sunday with those that were still here, I thought went extremely well. And I think we're in on the right kids, and we just need a group in the 24 and 25 class to come join us to really get this thing kick-started.
Coach, just any update on Avery Jones?
Yeah, it's that hurt us too, by the way. And Connor played really well, and Connor's going to be one heck of a football player. But they were changing in and out of a lot of fronts based on our personnel, and some of those five-man boxes on some of those 3rd and 5s and 6 could have been really good runs, and we weren't on the same page. And Avery, was more accustomed to that, so we missed him in the second half for sure. I think he's probably, I guess the words I would say for this week, doubtful.
Just following up on a earlier play calling question, I know you mentioned at the Georgia game that you were kind of more approving everything that was being called at that point. Is that still what you're doing, or kind of what's changed between then and now if Montgomery still?
Well, I approve the game plan.
Hugh, the last 2 games, when it's come time, when you've gone up tempo passing game, Peyton has really been quite successful. Does that lead you to believe maybe you need to do that more often, other than in the fourth quarter?
Well, my whole history has been around tempo, and obviously RPO, and I think Monty's more comfortable in tempo. And it seems Peyton is a little more comfortable in his skill set with some of that. And, again, I look at our team every Monday, and I look at our staff every Monday, and I say that I'm going to show them today, just like I do every Monday, the execution flaws. Not when the defense was better than us and they beat us on a play, and you know what, give them credit. They had a great call and they beat us, but the execution flaws when what we had called was correct. And I'm also going to look at them and show them, look, we let you down here on these 4 plays because they were bad calls. And as a coach, you want to have as few of those possible on a given game day. What I'm saying to you is when you evaluate everything, we're not always right on the approach. But I certainly approve the approach of maybe we need to try to keep our defense has been playing pretty good, but really, really thin at certain spots. And the fewer plays that they play, you would think we would have the better chance of being successful. And so those 2 thoughts, me going fast and me trying to protect them to the strength of our team to give us a shot in the 4th quarter, they really don't coincide if you really think about it. Was that the right approach? I don't know, but that's the thinking behind it, and certainly it's got to be reevaluated like everything else.
You talked about whether it's tempo or not tempo. How important is it to get to a point to where you don't have to sub packages to allow the defense to sub, even if you're not going fast, just to kind of make them dig?
Well, I've always believed in subbing packages now. I mean, I don't know of any team I play that doesn't go from 11 to 12 or 12 to 13. I think what you might mean by that, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but you're still running the same offense. And I think that's because they had a distinct plan. I mean, when we went the Robbie 13 package, they had a whole. Now, the good thing about it is none of their pass rushers were in the game. That was a good thing, and we tried to take a shot, and because they didn't have their pass rushers in the game, then you put, the others in. They got their dudes in there, and they had some really good pass rushers. But I do think you've got to. I think you got to be multiple in your personnels. I've always believed that, and so that won't change. It just in time we're going to get to where the offense is the offense.
Going back to Wes McGriff, what is his role on your staff right now, and do you expect him to come back?
He's chief of accountability and in-house recruiting right now, and it's been remarkable to see him. The conversations he's having with these kids, he's got a gift to talk straight to them, and they listen to him about accountability and doing things the right way. And I've been really impressed with it, and he's helping me immensely.
Hugh, Jarquez had a big game on Saturday night, first one for him this year where he's kind of really broken out like that. How much better do you think this offense can get when you have Jarquez playing like that? And obviously you guys got, Damari getting closer to health, that running game kind of getting stronger.
Yeah, I hate to – this is a bad feeling to have, and I don't know that I've ever had it, but I think this offense can be a lot better. And you just wish – that we would have arrived at hopefully what we start seeing more of at the end of the season sooner. And Jarquez is a part of that, of course. And I think he was a lot more patient and letting the holes develop for him. And he ran really hard and very physical. And it's good to see it because he's such a great kid. Comes to work every day and about it the right way. You don't have to worry about him being on a list or – I mean, he comes to work, so you're always good to see, him experience that success, and we've got several like that too.
All right, Coach. Appreciate
Yep. Thank you, guys. Yep. Thank y'all.